Now, it really seems like most of us were well ahead of our times by going to Thailand, or at the very least exiting the dating game in the West. And now the mainstream is catching up, at least when it comes to ditching dating apps. I came across this interesting article from the Daily Mirror, and it really shows that this might be the end of dating apps as we know them. And it's not just us. You and I and people who are interested in Thailand, have been going to Thailand, who just watch Thailand videos, who are looking for alternatives. The numbers don't lie. And users are fleeing dating apps. Now, some people will say that users have simply moved on and now that Instagram is the new dating app. And that might be true, but eventually things are going to play out the same way they did play out on dating apps. In fact, I would say Instagram is even worse if you use it purely for dating. You basically have to put yourself out there. There's no privacy. And with dating apps, at least any media you upload is sort of limited to the app, and you can even decide which people see your profile. With Instagram, to make it work for dating, you have to make your profile public. And then you need status, of course. The more people who switch over to Instagram for dating, the more competitive it becomes, and it will just end up being like, one of the traditional dating apps. And on dating apps, you could say women compare you against the top guys in your area, or your city, or your state, whichever distance they have in their settings. But on Instagram, now you're compared against the top guys worldwide. What's interesting about this article is that I didn't really see how they plan on changing things in the face of falling share prices. In fact, they're doing the complete opposite in my opinion. Tinder has added a height filter so that women can filter men by height. So now it's even more competitive. Bumble allows men to message women first, when the one thing that set Bumble apart was that women have to message first. And that right there tells you everything you need to know about the state of modern dating. The platforms are panicking. I think these companies are in true survival mode, and they're throwing features at the wall, hoping something sticks, while ignoring the simple truth. The core user experience is broken, and men have known it for years. Now let's talk about the 92% drop in stock prices. When a business loses nearly all of its market value, something is fundamentally wrong. It's not just a dip. This is a full-on collapse of trust in the product. Users are ghosting dating apps the same way they are used to ghost each other. You could say probably the swipe model is that the novelty wore off years ago, and once you realize the odds are stacked against you, algorithmically, socially, economically, you lose interest fast. And that's exactly why so many men started looking outside the West, especially towards places like Thailand, because for years they could feel the dating system at home slowly deteriorating. They weren't getting many matches or any matches at all, and when they did, the conversations were dull, one-sided, and they led nowhere. Or worse, they'd spend weeks chatting only to get ghosted before the first date. Eventually, those guys started asking a simple question: why am I putting in all these effort for so little return? And meanwhile, in places like Thailand, the dating culture is completely different. Men are respected. Dating isn't a zero-sum game of who has the most clout or the most curated photos. People still talk to each other face to face. Women are often more feminine, more approachable, and more relationship-minded. The contrast is night and day. And guess what? Guys who made that leap, whether moving abroad or just vacationing in Thailand, were seen as the weird ones, or giving up back home. But now, well, they're being proven right. The entire industry back home is collapsing, and the data backs it up. The Instagram is the new dating app argument is also short-sighted in my opinion. I mean, sure, it works for the top 1% of men with verified profiles, luxury travel photos, and six-pack apps. But for the average guy, well, it's a nightmare. You're invisible unless you have tens of thousands of followers or clout. You're not even playing the same game. On Instagram, women are being DM'd by professional athletes, influencers, global CEOs. It's not that she's rejecting you, it's that she literally doesn't even see you. And that's what most people miss when they say dating is just shifting platforms. The dynamic is broken. It's not about the app. It's about what the app represents. An attention economy where only the top few get rewarded and the rest are left swiping, hoping, and many of them simping. Even the new features being rolled out prove how tone deaf these companies are. A height filter that I've mentioned before. I mean, really, That's your solution to declining engagement and user frustration. Make it even more superficial and exclusive. Why not just add a net worth filter while you're at it? And Bumble letting men message first, I mean, that just means they're abandoning their own brand identity, I think. Because their numbers are tanking. It reeks of desperation in a way. They built their whole brand on women first empowerment, and now they're backpedaling because the model doesn't scale. It turns out giving women all the control doesn't necessarily make them more engaged. It just means more men sit around waiting for messages that never come. Now, all of this points to a larger truth. Online dating as we know it is cooked, burned out, oversaturated, broken beyond repair. And people are waking up. They're tired of transactional conversations, tired of feeling like a number in an algorithm, tired of the mental exhaustion of swiping for hours only to end up alone on a Friday night. And that's where you're seeing more men unplug completely. Either they focus on improving themselves and their real world lives, or they just go somewhere else like Thailand, where dating is still organic, where connections still exist, where mutual respect hasn't been replaced by endless filters and checklists. And this isn't bitterness, it's clarity. It is spreading. So when I saw this article, I didn't feel surprised. I felt vindicated because the shift has been a long time coming. Dating apps didn't just fail because of one bad feature or one bad year. They failed because they stopped serving the users who actually use them the most, which is men. And instead of fixing that, they catered harder to the top 5% of men and the female experience, while the majority were left behind. And now those men are leaving, and with them goes the engagement, the monetization, the revenue. The whole illusion is crumbling. Dating apps are dead. They just haven't had the funeral yet.